Okay, so picture this. We've got all these sperm cells, right? And they're on this huge mission, racing towards an egg. And guess what? Progesterone is their guy. It's like a map they can't ignore, leading them straight to their target.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It really shows just how powerful this hormone is.
Right.
Most people, they hear progesterone and they think pregnancy.
Hmm.
But trust me, it is so much more than that.
I bet. I'm ready to have my mind blown. You sent over that Wikipedia article, dense stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
So let's break it down.
Sounds like a plan.
Where do we even begin? Oh, I know. Where is it made? Where does it come from, this mysterious progesterone?
Well, the ovaries, those are the main production site, like a progesterone factory pumping it out.
Okay, makes sense.
But, and here's the interesting part, it's not just the ovaries working solo. The adrenal glands, they chip in, and even the brain itself gets in on the action.
Wow, so it's like a team effort. The body is wild.
Oh, absolutely. And even, believe it or not, fat cells produce a little bit of progesterone too.
No way. I had no idea.
It's true.
So it's everywhere. But I'm guessing those levels, they're not just constant, right? They probably fluctuate.
You're right on the money. Progesterone levels, they're kind of like a roller coaster, up and down throughout the menstrual cycle.
Makes sense. I got to keep things interesting.
Exactly. Before ovulation, levels are relatively low.
Yeah.
But then, boom, ovulation hits and progesterone production kicks into high gear. It's all about preparing the body for a potential pregnancy.
Like setting the stage, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk pregnancy then. It is called the pregnancy hormone after all. What's progesterone doing during those 9 months?
Oh, it's playing a starring role, no doubt about it. Progesterone is like the ultimate pregnancy multitasker. One of its big jobs is making sure the uterus is ready for implantation, like creating this cozy, welcoming environment for a fertilized egg to implant and grow.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. But what about the immune system? Doesn't the body see the fetus as like a foreign invader that needs to be, dealt with?
Right, that's where things get really clever. Progesterone actually acts like an immunosuppressant.
What? So it's like telling the immune system to stand down?
Precisely. It helps prevent the mother's immune system from attacking that developing fetus.
Wow, that is pretty incredible. So it's like a peacekeeper, just making sure everyone gets along for the greater good.
Exactly, and this is just one of its many talents.
Seriously, there's more.
Oh, we're just getting started. Get ready for this. Progesterone isn't just a reproductive superstar, it's a brain influencer too. It's time to talk about neurosteroids.
Neuro what now? Okay, you're going to have to explain that one.
All right, so think of neurosteroids as like messengers in the brain. They help different parts of the brain talk to each other, make sure everything's running smoothly.
Okay, so like air traffic control for the brain, keeping those neurons in check.
Exactly. And guess what one of the key players is in this whole neurosteroid world?
Let me guess, don't tell me. Progesterone.
You got it.
Wow! So not just a reproductive superstar, but a brain influencer too. Man, this hormone is putting in the work. Okay, so what does it actually do in the brain?
Well, it's involved in a ton of processes. But one that's really exciting is its neuroprotective effects. Research suggests that progesterone could act like a bodyguard for our brain cells, especially after an injury.
Wait, hold up. A brain bodyguard. Now that sounds like something we could all use. How does it actually protect the brain, especially after something like, a concussion or even a stroke?
Well, imagine your brain experiences an injury, right? Inflammation is a huge part of the damage that follows.
Oh, right, of course.
Progesterone swoops in like a superhero, acting as a powerful anti-inflammatory. It helps to calm things down, prevent further damage.
So not only can it help prevent damage, but it can actually help the healing process too.
Exactly. There's even research showing that progesterone can promote the growth of new blood vessels and nerve fibers in the brain after an injury.
Wow, so it's like providing the building blocks for repair and recovery.
That's a great way to think about it.
It really makes you realize how important it is to understand our hormones, and how they can impact, like, everything.
Absolutely.
Okay, but you know me, always up for a good plot twist. Is there anything else about progesterone that might surprise people?
Oh, you have no idea. Get this, there's a growing body of research linking progesterone to addiction.
Wait, seriously? Addiction? That's wild. How does that even work?
Well, it's all about the brain, right? The serotonin receptors we talked about, they play a role in addiction too, not just mood and sleep.
Okay, so you're saying there's a connection between progesterone, serotonin, and maybe why some people turn to things like, I don't know, nicotine or alcohol.
You're getting it. Fluctuations in progesterone, like, say, during certain parts of the menstrual cycle, can really mess with those serotonin levels. So for some people, when progesterone dips, they might crave substances that give them a little serotonin boost.
How? So it's like this whole internal battle going on. That's a totally different way to think about addiction, not just willpower, but like our own biology working against
I know, it
us.
really makes you think.
It does, but it gets even more interesting, right? Didn't you mention something about progesterone and cocaine?
I did. This is where it gets really wild.
Yeah.
Some studies suggest that progesterone might actually reduce cravings for cocaine.
Whoa, hold on. So it might fuel some addictions, but fight others? How does that even make sense?
It all comes down to the incredibly complex ways that different drugs interact with those neurotransmitter systems in our brains. Like, while some substances might try to fill that void left by fluctuating serotonin, progesterone seems to interfere with cocaine's effects on the dopamine system.
So progesterone, it's like a double agent in the world of addiction.
Something like that. It just goes to show how much we still don't know,
Hmm,
and how important it is to keep researching.
totally. But okay, we've been talking a lot about the brain. What about other parts of the body? Does progesterone have any influence outside of the brain and like the reproductive system?
You bet. It's a busy little hormone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
For instance, there was this fascinating study that found a link between the menstrual cycle and competitiveness in women.
Really? Now that's interesting.
Right. So researchers, they wanted to see if these hormonal ups and downs could actually influence behavior, and it turns out they do.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
So during the part of the menstrual cycle when progesterone is higher, women were less competitive in certain tasks.
Wait, so when progesterone is high, competitiveness is low.
That's what the study found.
Wow. So the time of the month when some women feel like they're, on their A game is actually when they might be less likely to, like, jump into a competition.
It's pretty fascinating, right? But of course, every woman is different. It's more about these subtle shifts in behavior, how our biology might be influencing our choices, even subconsciously.
That's incredible. It makes you wonder what else it might be affecting. If progesterone can influence something as complex as competitiveness, I mean, what about risk taking or decision making?
Those are great questions. And while we don't have all the answers yet, it just shows you how multifaceted progesterone really is.
It's true. This one hormone, and it's everywhere doing everything.
Right. Its influence goes way beyond just, female functions. It
Hmm.
plays a role in brain health, addiction, even how we interact with the world. It's amazing.
Mind blowing, really. It's like we've stumbled onto one of the most important but underappreciated players in the human body. Seriously, when we started this whole progesterone deep dive, I never would have guessed it was connected to addiction or competitiveness. It's like this silent force shaping our actions behind the
It
scenes.
really is. It just goes to show you how interconnected our bodies and minds truly are.
Yeah.
And there's still so much more to discover. I mean, we've talked about the brain, behavior, but progesterone also plays a role in other areas we haven't even touched on, like skin health, for example.
Wait, are you serious? Progesterone, the beauty hormone. Now I'm really interested.
Well, it's not exactly a fountain of
Yeah.
youth, but there are studies showing it can help maintain skin's elasticity and thickness. So it does, in a way, contribute to that healthy glow.
Amazing. Okay, so what about other systems in the body? Anywhere else, progesterone is working its magic.
Get this, there's emerging research suggesting that progesterone might even have a hand in our gut microbiome.
Hold on, you mean those trillions of bacteria that live in our gut? What does progesterone have to do with that?
It's still early days for this area of research, but we're starting to understand that the gut and brain are in constant communication. And hormones, things like progesterone, they could be the key messengers in all of this.
Wow. So, let me get this straight. Progesterone, it's a brain protector, an addiction influencer, a potential beauty booster, and now a gut health guru. Is there anything it can't do?
Right. It's pretty remarkable. And like I said, the more we learn, the more questions we have.
That's what makes it so fascinating. But okay, for our listeners out there, what's the main takeaway? Why should we care about progesterone beyond, just pregnancy?
Because it affects all of us. This isn't just about women's health. It's about brain health, addiction, maybe even our gut and metabolism. Progesterone's influence is way bigger than we ever thought.
It really is mind-blowing. So basically, we need to pay attention to this hormone.
Exactly. Understanding how it works could be the key to new treatments and therapies for so many conditions.
It's like we're on the verge of something big. Imagine harnessing the power of progesterone to help people recover from brain injuries or even prevent addiction in the first place.
The future of this research is incredibly exciting.
It really is. We've only scratched the surface today, haven't we?
Just barely. But hopefully this deep dive has shown everyone just how important progesterone is. It's not just a single chapter in a biology textbook. It deserves a much closer look.
Absolutely. And who knows what we'll discover next. So, to everyone listening, here's something to think about. Could progesterone hold the key to unlocking new treatments for all sorts of conditions? Let us know what you think, and happy researching.